Come with me on my TV to our show called Talk About Topeka. Share online and you'll find that I'm running out of rhymes. Welcome to Talk About Topeka, proud recipients of the coveted Talk About Topeka Award for Best Show airing Tuesday nights at 9:30 on my TV, as awarded by us, in case you weren't clear on that. I'm Chris Schultz. On tonight's episode, we'll talk with Martha Piland, the president and CEO of MB Piland, and we'll have Nick Xidis, one of the owners of Hazel Hill Chocolates in downtown Topeka. We'll find out how their store began, and afterwards, I'll be in the market for a counselor to help with my new chocolate addiction. Yeah. Tonight's show is brought to you by the WIBW channels and downtown's Field of Greens Garden Bistro, and it starts right now. So sit back, relax, and get your feet off the coffee table.
Now I see.
Since the weather here is getting nicer, most Topekans are getting outside and being more active. After a fine day of playing volleyball with friends or spending time at the lake, or taking a brisk jog to hide from the police, we think it's all right to reward yourself with the top 10 treats to make Willie Wonka smile in Topeka. Number 10, Billy Vanilli Cupcakes. Number 9, Tad's Tropical Snow next to Gage Bowl. Number 8, get a chocolate-scented candle at Marion Lane Candles. No matter how good they smell, Marion Lane Candles is not responsible for stomach aches if you eat them. Number 7, Daylight Donuts. Number 6, get your freeze on at G's Frozen Custard. Number 5, The Lamp Dancer. Street performers in Topeka are a rare treat indeed. Number 4, Bobo's Drive-In for apple pie. It's as American as pie. Number 3, Orange Leaf on Wanamaker. Number 2, Hazel Hill Chocolates. And number 1, the tastiest treat is tuning in to Talk About Topeka Tuesday nights at 9:30 on my TV. We've got a great show for you. We have 2 Topeka tycoons about to make it rain up in here. Stick around, homies. I'm joined today with Martha Piland, the president and CEO of MB Piland Advertising Agency. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Martha,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Now, a lot of people have really heard the name MB Piland in Topeka. I mean, you are all over the place. This is wonderful stuff. But they may not know exactly what you do. So kind of tell people what you do.
Well, MB Piland is 14 years old as of April 1st, so we're proud of our April Fool's Day birthday.
Cool.
What we do is really, we help clients think about their business, not just their advertising. And so if you step back and think about all the kinds of advertising and marketing firms out there in the world, we do a lot of those services, but really we start with strategy. And we think that a deliberative, intentional marketing strategy that's focused on measurable goals and objectives should come first. So we help clients think about that, and then we put together the strategies and tactics such as social media or a website or PR or what have you that measure back to that marketing blueprint that we've established.
Very cool. Very cool. So what got you into this? Like, how did MB Piland get started?
Do you have a lot of time? I'll tell you the short version of MB Piland.
Okay.
I started out earlier in my career. I worked at Callahan Creek.
Okay.
And I worked there for 8 years and rose through the ranks and really had a fantastic experience there with great mentors and a lot of great creative people. But at the end of that 8 years, I was starting to feel like to step out and grow, that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and try something different. And so at that time, it was the desire to work on the client side, to go to work for a company in a marketing department be the client, have the ad agencies work for me, and understand that perspective of the business. So I did that, and I went to work for Heartland Health, which was a fledgling health insurance company. And it was a great experience because there was no marketing department before I started.
Cool.
And got to learn why clients do some of the things they do. I was involved with stock offerings and worked with the agencies. But after about a year, I really started missing the energy and the creative chaos of the agency business. And I started daydreaming out loud to my husband, wouldn't it be cool if I could start my own business? Wouldn't it be cool if I could start my own agency? And he said, well, why don't you?
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't do that. So I call that my light bulb moment. That was this idea of, well, maybe I can. So I wrote a business plan, and I had a graphic designer help me with my stationery package and my presentation, and I quit my job and I started.
That's really cool. That's a great story, how you got started with things.
Thank you.
And so today, what are things going on today? What are you guys working on?
Today we're working on a lot of exciting things. Some of our major clients are Topeka Chamber, Go Topeka.
Cool.
So we've been very involved with a lot of the economic development efforts. Learning Quest 529 Savings Plan is one of our clients.
Wow.
We do work with companies all over the U.S., but mostly around in this region. So some Topeka names that you might know would be Mize Hauser and Goodell Stratton. We do some work with Allen Community College, so you see their billboards around town. That's probably something that you've noticed. But there's a lot of different things going on right now. We're pretty deep in strategy for some clients that are still a little bit under the radar in terms of their branding and their marketing blueprint. And the other thing that I think people don't know that we do is we really think holistically about a client's business. What are their pain points? What are the kinds of things that are keeping them from getting where they need to go? So we might be looking at their sales channel, or are they leveraging their brand externally really well, but internally maybe people that work there don't really feel like the brand pertains to them, or is it a really great place to work, and is that part being fleshed out? So we help clients with all of those aspects of their business, because when you do that, then your brand really shines through and you're so much more effective.
And I'll tell you what, you guys have done a lot in the community as well. I mean, I can't go to a lot of different charitable events without seeing you there and doing things. What are some of the things you guys have done with the Topeka community?
We're very involved with Heartland Visioning, and I sit on the steering committee there. We've been involved with United Way. We've been involved with Couture for Cancer. I do a lot of speaking at Washburn in the School of Business and in the communications areas. Also, there's a business of art class at Washburn that I usually speak to. And
there's a lot.
I'm sorry,
there's too many to think about. I mean, I know I'm always seeing you doing things, and you're one of the drivers of the community. I think that so we're so lucky that you took the opportunity to get into business 14 years ago, because you've done so much for Topeka as a whole. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you're welcome.
You bet.
My philosophy on that is all along the way, all along my career path, people have been very generous to me, giving me advice, giving me referrals, being mentors. And so I think I have an opportunity and an obligation to give back and help others, and that's really rewarding too.
You certainly do live by example. Well, Martha, thank you so much for coming by today, and I can't let you leave until we do our famous lightning round, which is where we put 60 seconds on the clock, and I ask you some silly questions, and you just throw me the answer that pops to your head very first.
Okay.
All right, ready? Let's put 60 seconds on the clock, and let's roll. What's your favorite tourist attraction in Topeka?
Oh, that would be Lake Shawnee.
Ah, very good. What's for dinner tonight?
Leftovers?
What time should I be there, right? In your opinion, what was the greatest movie ever made?
Pulp Fiction.
Ooh, great movie. Who is your favorite musical group?
Oh my gosh.
That's a hard question, isn't it?
Anybody doing an Andrew Lloyd Webber show on Broadway.
Ah, very nice, very nice. And paper, rock, or scissors?
Rock.
Oh, I'm sorry, you lost. I had the paper. Speaking of that, paper or plastic?
my own bag out of my trunk.
Excellent. Very good. And where would we likely run into you on an evening out on the town?
Topeka Civic Theater.
Very nice. And what's your favorite television show to watch Tuesday nights at 9:30 on my TV?
Talk About Topeka with Chris Schultz.
Yes, there it is. Martha, thank you so much for coming.
You're
and anytime you have something to say, come on our show. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you. You bet. Fake meteorologist Chris Schultz here with your weekend fun forecast. As you can see by our WIBW Topeka newsletter talkabouttopeka.com logo cam, there's a 100% chance of fun this weekend here in the capital city. It's Cinco de Mayo. Well, something like that. There are plenty of local watering holes celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Look for drink specials all across Topeka. But Friday night is the first Friday Art Walk. Check out your favorite gallery, then swing by the break room downtown afterwards so you can see the rising stars in the world of stand-up comedy for So You Think You're Funny at 8 o'clock p.m. For fans of classic cheesy monster movies, there's a free film festival at Washburn. The Godzilla and Friends Film Festival takes over the Washburn University campus Friday evening and all of Saturday at Henderson Hall, room 112. At Topeka Civic Theater, it's the Great American Trailer Park Musical. There's a new tenant at Armadillo Acres, and she's wreaking havoc all over Florida's most exclusive trailer park. When Pippi, a dancer on the run, comes between Dr. Phil-loving agoraphobic Jeannie and her toll booth collector husband, the storms begin to brew. The Great American Trailer Park Musical is showing Thursday at 7, Friday and Saturday at 8, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. Tickets are $15 at topekacivictheater.com. It's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Be at the Jayhawk Tower for the Do It Downtown 2012 Kentucky Derby Party and fundraiser. Join Downtown Topeka Inc. this Saturday from 3 to 6:30 for food, drink, the Kentucky Derby on the big screen, a silent auction, and a chance to win prizes. Visit downtowntopekainc.com for more info. Want to enjoy great local and regional music talent while benefiting children, adults, and veterans in need of mental health support? Then come on down to the Topeka Performing Arts Center this Saturday at 7 o'clock for a Breakthrough House concert, Rock for Charity. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Be sure to check out all the cool stuff happening this weekend in the capital city. I'm Chris Schultz, and remember, keep talking about Topeka.
Money, get me some money, had a money, get me some money.
I'm here in the studio today with Nick Xidis from Hazel Hill Chocolates. Nick, thanks for joining us.
Hey, welcome. I appreciate you having us over.
You know, chocolates are my favorite, so you're one of the people on the top of my list to get on the show.
Excellent.
So how did Hazel Hill start?
Well, Hazel Hill really started with my grandfather,
Okay.
who was a Greek immigrant, and at the time he came with his father to the U.S., one of the trades the Greek community could teach you was candy making and confectionery. He apprenticed in New York and learned the skills there, and actually had a small store in Clinton, Iowa, called Candyland.
Cool.
And this is something of our attempt to recreate some of what that was like in the 30s and 40s. Small batches, handmade items, a little simpler thing, and a pretty good show if you come in and watch the stuff being made.
Excellent. I love it there. It's like it is like Willie Wonka land down there. I mean, you see,
It's a lot of fun.
yeah, and you see all these wonderful things that you're like, I can't believe they put chocolate on it, but I love it. You know, it's great. I mean, from you walk in and you see the big candied apples and all
Yep.
that. Oh man. So you do have a background in chocolate, and so what made you say, Topeka, we're going to open up Hazel Hill downtown? Right here, we're here for you.
You know, we were brought here by security benefit. I took a position there, and when we came, one of the things that clearly, in our view, needed some improvement was downtown. And as we had the means and some of the knowledge of how to do that, it seemed like a natural fit to see if we could put something downtown that was a little bit of a nice place to go, provided some work experiences and things for folks who are maybe on their way to somewhere else and could learn from a work experience that fit nice with some education, and really to offer the community a place that was a little bit different and would hopefully be one of the anchors here downtown.
Hazel Hill's almost become one of those synonymous names when they talk about the small businesses downtown. People mention Hazel Hill, and I think you've done a great job with quality. Everything is so delicious there. I don't know if you've never been to Hazel Hill, you need to get out and go to Hazel Hill Chocolates, like right now. Well, not right now because
Yeah, you got to finish watching.
Yeah,
right?
you have to finish watching. But what about all the stuff that's going on downtown? What do you think about the redevelopment and all the plans? There's a lot of talk going on.
There is, and you know, a lot of folks have been working really hard on that for a long time, and I can't say how much we appreciate the efforts of folks trying to make this a better place. I think, like all of the businesses, yours included, we're worried a little bit around the impacts as streets get torn up and maybe changed, and sidewalks are removed and put back. Really, what does that mean, and how will folks be able to navigate that as it happens? Strong supporters of taking care of the infrastructure. I think not everyone realizes how old and dated some of the infrastructure and the plumbing and the storm drains and that are, and how important it is to get that stuff cleaned up and get it working.
As my concern's always been that, you know, if we're going to resurface things and take things up, common sense to me would be that if you're going to take the streets up and you've got pipes from 1892 that are going to burst like they did over on 10th Street, why wouldn't you do that at the same time? And that, to me, that's what I'm really concerned about, because I think that downtown Topeka already has some amazing businesses that people should not wait for a so-called redevelopment project to bring them out to it. It's wonderful that things are going on and happening down here, but there are some great places that are already here, have been here for a long time, and we can't forget about those. Just like Hazel Hill, you got to get out to Hazel Hill. They talked to Connie Cook across the street from Marion Lane with you guys.
Yeah,
she's the one that kind of like tuned me into that line of thinking. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because we talk about, you know, the redevelopment, but we've already been developing. Things are happening, and they're changing a lot down here as we do them. There's a lot of small business owners that are getting involved, and I mean, do you kind of feel the family bit down here? I mean,
you know, we do. We're a pretty tight group, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think things in the last 6 years have changed from our point of view. When we started, really tough to get anything happening on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's pretty hard now to tell a Saturday sales volume from a weekday sales volume. So I think that's a pretty good signal that there's some destination things downtown that are bringing folks here. And we just had the Rethink event this past weekend, and we saw some great shows down here. We had some great food to eat. I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to come down and enjoy an environment like that is, top quality stuff and a good family-friendly place to have a good time.
That's why I chose to be a part of downtown as well. And it was about the same time. I mean, we're at 10 years with Field of Greens down there, but
Okay.
it's
The break
been
room was a little after that.
yeah, that
right?
was like we're celebrating 5 years with that, and so
Okay.
right, we're in that same window, and
Yeah.
it really felt like it was, every man for themselves. And, when we first opened, when you kind of get that thing, but now I really feel like everybody's reaching out. Kind of there is a much greater sense of community going on with the folks down here than there used to be when we first started.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to make everything turn around. And as long as people keep fighting the good fight and eating delicious chocolates from Hazel Hill, because that's not a fight at all. That's actually quite one of the best treats in Topeka, right down there.
It is, and we just need to keep, in my opinion, more of those types of hometown business that kind of form the heart and soul of our community coming down here. And I think there's some great places now, and there's plenty of space for a few more.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you guys coming by, and I definitely appreciate you to right down the street from me, although my gym also appreciates that because it keeps some job security for them.
You got it. Good. That stuff's good for your heart.
That's right. It is good stuff. But I can't let you leave till we do our lightning round here, folks.
Okay.
It's where I put 60 seconds on the clock, and then I ask you a whole bunch of silly questions, and you give me the first thing that pops to your mind.
You got it.
All right. For 60 seconds, and let's go. What's your favorite tourist attraction in Topeka?
Probably the Capitol.
Excellent.
Or the Combat Air Museum. That one's pretty good too.
That is a good one. What's your favorite chocolate shop in Topeka?
Hazel Hill.
Good answer. All right. In your opinion, what was the greatest movie ever made?
The greatest movie ever made, probably It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a wonderful movie. What's your favorite musical group?
Probably Journey.
Very good. And paper or plastic?
Mostly plastic, but would prefer paper if it was more widely available.
I could see that. Where would we likely run into you on an evening out on the town?
Our last evening out on the town was at the Blue Planet.
Very good, very good. And what is your favorite television show that airs Tuesday nights at 9:30 on my TV?
Gosh, I don't know. Could it be this one?
It sure could be. Correct. Nick, thank you so much for joining
Great
us.
to hear you, Chris.
We're going to get down
Thanks.
and get some chocolate like right now.
Sounds good.
I want to take just a couple minutes to talk a little bit about my sister. You see, my sister, Kim Schultz, is so dumb. She got locked inside of a mattress store overnight and slept on the floor. My sister is so dumb. It takes her 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes. But let me really tell you about my sister.
My sister Kim is just amazing. Everything I've learned it from her. She is pretty much indispensable to me, this company, and to Topeka. She is beyond words. I am Chris Schultz, and I approve this message.
So, really, I want to congratulate my sister, who actually put together the Topeka newsletter, where she's been trying to get people for a long time to stop saying that there's nothing to do in Topeka. She combats that by putting all kinds of events on her newsletter, and a commercial that she put together with WIBW actually got some recognition, and I wanted to just spend a couple minutes here bragging about it for her. See, she actually brought this by, and I saw her commercial for the Topeka newsletter won first place at the Kansas Association of Broadcasters Awards. So congratulations, Kim. Woohoo! Keep up the good work.
Okay, so we've been flooded with a lot of emails about our next case.
Yes, there are a lot of people out there with the thought that there is nothing to do in Topeka.
So we're gonna find out if that's true.
But first, we have to do some research.
All right, first you go to www.com.
And look right there, it's the Topeka newsletter.
You give them a little information, and then twice a month, you'll get emails packed with stuff to do in Topeka.
Now look, there are some great events and some fantastic places to visit. Well, there you have it. There are things to do in Topeka.
And all you have to do is go to the Topeka newsletter.
A big thanks to Nick Xidis from Hazel Hill Chocolates and Martha Piland of MB Piland. Thanks so much for joining us on TalkAboutTopeka.com. This episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, a garden bistro in downtown Topeka. We want you to talk about Topeka. Make your own videos on YouTube, less than a minute long, and send it to us on our website at TalkAboutTopeka.com. If it's less painful than being forced to sit through a slideshow of your Aunt Ethel's invasive surgery, we might just put it on our show. For a complete listing of events in the capital city, sign up for the Topeka newsletter on our website. Good night to all of our viewers. I'm Chris Schultz, and I hope to see you again real soon. Oh, hey, there you are. Remember, keep talking about Topeka.